Secretly, we're all grandmas at heart.
Low-key, should I just start my bullet journal?
I read a little bit of my book and then I went to bed.
I love cozy copies. I did finish it. What was that?
Hello friends, how is it going? Today we are going to be kicking off a weekend reading vlog, and a weekend reading vlog meaning that it's currently already Saturday at 5 p.m. I have a couple of things that I specifically want to do this weekend, and it is time to get to doing them. This morning I kind of sorry, I can't with this angle. I forgot my tripod at home, and even though I, told myself like 3 times and I went back to go get it 3 times and I forgot it every single time. It's fine. Anyways, you would have seen my reset vlog. I posted about my genre blanket and I was so excited about it. Well, the more that I had this specific yarn that I was using in my house, the more that I started to notice, hey, there's grass in that. So I actually at my house have a type of grass that in the winter comes out of the ground and just sticks to everything, including that blanket. And I just knew that if I were to make that blanket with that particular yarn, I would be so irritated with the yarn. I don't think I really thought that through. So I did a whole bunch of research last night about different temperature blankets and how there aren't a whole lot of people that do genre blankets necessarily other than just the stripes, and I don't necessarily love the striped blankets. For me, I am someone who gets very much so bored of doing the same old single row the whole time, so I definitely needed something else to switch that up. Secondarily, I'm also going to be making my sister for her high school graduation a single crochet blanket. So I knew that if I was going to also be making a blanket of another kind, it had to be a fun blanket, because if I were to try to do another single crochet blanket, it would be a no. So I was definitely looking at other patterns, which is why I eventually was going with a patchwork one that I wanted using that yarn. I found a different blanket that I want to make. I'm going to leave a screenshot of it here. I have been looking at making this blanket in the Bernat blanket yarn for a very long time, and I think that this is the perfect project to be able to do this with. I'm curious to see, given that the size of blanket that this particular pattern is, I think is technically a lap blanket. Is it a throw? I don't know, but it's not like a big ginormo one, and I do want a big ginormo one, which is great because this blanket I think only has 66 rows of alternating colors. I definitely am going to read more than 66 books. So I'm just going to make it a little bit wider, a little bit longer, and we're going to commit to the bed. However, I did go walk around. I went to both Michael's to go return that yarn, and then I went to Hobby Lobby. I did not make it to Joann's yet, though. I fear that I'm not going to find the particular kind of yarn that I would necessarily want at Joann's. So I think because at Hobby Lobby, they do have the Yarn Bee. It's the soft and sleek, but it's the low pill. I know that it's going to be a little bit more expensive if I do it that way, but also I really don't like the feeling of acrylic. Usually, I just don't like it. And this one is very soft and sleek. So I think that finally committing to changing everything, I might as well just go big or go home, kind of. So after I went to Michael's and returned the skeins that I had not already broken into for the existing blanket, RAP, I guess she wouldn't really be resting if she was never living. I then ended up going to Hobby Lobby because it was on the way to go to book club. Today we had a lunch at one of the Mexican restaurants in town, and then we ended up just having chips and queso and drinks, and nobody actually ordered food because we had it also at 3 o'clock. And to be clear, we did tip the waitress, but I'm sure she was very confused as to why we RSVP'd for a group of 10, and then only 6 of us showed up, and then none of us ate. That was a fun time. But anyways, I was looking at all the different colors and took a picture here of the colors that I was debating on doing, and I think that is what I'm going to go with. But I kind of ran out of time because I needed to make it to book club lunch, and I was also overthinking it yet again. Me, surprise what? So now that I have sat on it for a little bit of time, I'm yeah, no, those are it. So that is a project that I want to start because I have read I think I've read 6 books now, because all I've read since my first vlog of the year was Sonic Storm. I've really not read a whole lot in January, the more that I think about it, so I don't have really that much to catch up on, but I have some things to catch up on. Not to mention I need to learn this pattern because it seems like it's pretty easy, but also I've not actually looked at it, so watch me open up this particular pattern and it's crazy hard. We'll find out. So I am going to go to Hobby Lobby. We're going to get the yarn. However, I am going to finally today finish listening to Garnet Flats. I have not been listening to audiobooks. I was in a really, really big audiobook mood, and then all of a sudden I just, stopped. So I had my little break with audiobooks. However, the vibe for the rest of mostly tonight, but then also tomorrow, is going to be we are going to get cozy. We're going to get crafty. We're going to have some fun things happening in our lives. So we're gonna go home, we're gonna go rot for the next day and a half, and we're gonna see what we get up to. Let's hit the craft store, because secretly we're all grandmas at heart. Do you ever just trip and go yarn shopping? Because, me too. Hello friends, we have an absolutely nasty yarn haul. And by nasty, I mean I bought 29 skeins of yarn. I can't be stopped is what I'm getting at here. Got some options. Options meaning I did get yarn for the new and improved genre blanket. I'm using mostly the same colors. I was able to find mostly the same colors. However, this is going to be a largely cream blanket, and unfortunately, I think this is going to bite me in the rear end because I was only able to get a hold of 5 skeins. I really think I'm gonna need closer to like double this at minimum, honestly, because I do want to make a little bit of a longer blanket. Like, I'm kind of a go big or go home person with blankets, which, you know, is 90% of my problems. But so what we're going to do, this is going to be the main color. See if I can grab all of these. These are going to be all of the colors that I will be doing different genres for. We've got a pretty blue, the olive. This is almost more like a muted cerulean versus like a lighter sage. Like, it's really low-key leaning on celery green, and I'm obsessed with it. We have a really pretty muted purple that also is going to seem a lot darker just because, you know, it's lighting and it's almost 10 p.m. A pretty, like, it's more purple than navy, but it's a really pretty indigo blue. Wow, that took me a minute to figure out what the color indigo was. And then the wine color that I was exceptionally drawn to. So I did go ahead and get 3 skeins of this. I got 2 skeins of everything else. So this is the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek. You'll notice, and this is going to drive me crazy, and I just feel it, the cream in this variety was a little bit more yellow, like peachy yellow. I don't know. It was more of a colored cream as opposed to just like a light color than this one was. You'll notice this one's bigger. So I figured that switching to this anyways would be more cost effective, especially since the whole blanket was going to be this. But also I like the texture of both of these. This is the Simply Flawless Yarn Bee. I'm confused as to what the difference really even is here. I think this is technically a slightly finer yarn, but by the like absolute tiniest, teeniest, teeniest amount. And when they're all in a blanket, I don't know that this is really going to matter so much. And also, even if this is thicker yarn, you can kind of tell it's a like minuscule amount, okay, like literally not enough for it to matter. But if this is the color and it's a little bit bigger, this row is going to be skinnier anyway, so I think that having a little bit extra bulk, by like not even millimeters extra bulk, would work out anyway. So that's what we're going with. And then in Mel's Patreon, everyone was talking about doing the, I think it's the Sidar crochet along, Sidar. I don't know. I had never actually heard of them, and then I started looking at the crochet along patterns, and I realized that my bestie McKenna, she had sent me a reel of this gingerbread. I'll leave a picture of this. This gingerbread blanket, and she's like, yeah, you should make this for me. And I was like, girl, no. Love you, but no, because that looks like torture. And not only does it look like it would take my entire life, come to find out it was this brand. So I went through some of their patterns and I was like, okay, listen, one of these could be fun. So I went ahead and got the yarn just because I did. And I also have been really curious about the Yarn ID yarn. I was going to start a temperature / genre blanket this last year, and then I ended up not doing it because I couldn't decide on the freaking yarn, which is where we're at now. But I was going to do the Yarn ID yarn because I'd heard a lot of people really like this stuff. So I went ahead and got it in a bunch of colors. Oh, also I did get this black, kind of like heathered black almost, to be the differentiator between the months. If I end up using this, I think I'm going to end up using this. We'll see if I actually do, but I think it'd be cool to have a marker in between each month, so that'll be this. I got basically one of all of the Yarn ID colors, but I really liked all of these colors together. They're all very like in the same color family, even though they all are different colors. So I did go ahead and get all the yarn to make that blanket, which that blanket looks so fun because there's so many different rows and stuff to it. So I think that would be just a fun like crochet along project to do with all the besties. So, Oliver! He stole my yarn. You know what? You come here. For example, on the grass, we've talked about this recently. He just went outside. Like, What? And yes, he's still wearing the jammies that my roommate put on him because he loves them. So, I love him. Okay. Also, Jesse got a new bed frame. How fun. However, you can see literally just in the 2 seconds that this is on the floor, there's grass on it. But the grass will like come off of this. Whereas it was getting stuck in this like super fluffy fleeciness. So that is the official yarn haul. Hobby Lobby does 30% off sales on their yarn every other week, so this was one of the sale weeks. So I ended up saving. I saved $50. I spent $138 with taxes. So yikes. And did I buy enough yarn to fully make the 2 blankets? I have very limited confidence. However, dude, leave it. So do I have confidence that I bought enough yarn? No. But did I get as much yarn as I pretty much reasonably could get? Yes. I bought out their entire stock of the cream yarn for the genre blankets, so that's great. So all that to say, there will be craft night sprints coming to a YouTube channel near you soon. I think, I'm like, should I start? Low key, should I just start my bullet journal? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. So in this season of Bailey really should have gone to bed at least 2 hours ago. It's currently 3 a.m. However, I have actually been making some really good bullet journal progress. I have not just sat down and actually done my bullet journal since I did the big like art illustration bit that, you know, takes forever. And I'm so glad that I'm finally like picking it back up and actually getting some things set up. However, one thing that I was really looking forward to about junk journaling as the pure chaos and just like getting to stack up pieces of paper and not having to actually write or like draw or do anything. Unfortunately, all that is doing is leaving me an absolutely dumpster fire trash mess. I am still having to write things, and I'm having to write things actually multiple times because I keep trying to tear up pieces of paper and then I tear through the writing. Or I go ahead and tear my piece of paper and then I start writing and then I write it weird. So things are just going really well, but I'm not necessarily mad at it either. I think that I am making some really good progress. I have been treated to some Nerds gummy clusters and I'm doing okay. Hello friends and good morning. I woke up probably about noon after staying awake until like 4 a.m. Working on my bullet journal finally, which was the time that I definitely needed to spend doing it because I keep just like not working on it in favor of doing literally anything else because I'm having this really thing that I'm working through at the moment in which I keep wanting things to be done and then I keep not doing them and I keep getting mad and they're not done and I'm like you're dumb. Like for example, I have no idea where it is actually. My granny square hexagon cardigan thing that I keep working on, I literally have not touched it since I touched it on January 1st. And it's because I have literally just been absolutely rotting all month, and while that has been fun, it is time to actually start doing some things and getting my act together a little bit. So today I got up, made myself a little bit of coffee that is now very, very melted, but still pretty. It would be better if it wasn't melted, but it's not too bad. But I got up, did the dishes, and cleaned a little bit of the kitchen, took out the trash, did all those things. And then I had the sudden hankering to leave the house. The weather outside is really, really nice today. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the chaos mess that I left here for myself. It's funny because I was watching, okay, sorry, if you can hear Ginger just absolutely screaming, it's because her mom put her in her crate and now she's ticked that she's in the crate and I'm in here and she's having to be in the crate by herself. So hopefully if the mic isn't picking her up, great. And the mic gets a raise. But if you can hear her screaming, that's probably really annoying. I'm at a little bit of a stopping point because I did run out of my glue tape entirely. And I am laughing because I was watching Bailey Nicole Reed's she just posted her weekend vlog and I started watching that. And she also ran out of glue tape and went and got more glue tape. Unfortunately for me, it's Sunday, meaning Hobby Lobby is closed. So I went ahead and switched to a glue stick for a couple of these. And I just don't like glue sticks as much. They're much better for the vellum that I use as opposed to the glue tape. So I'm laughing because this page, you can see the glue tape through the vellum so bad. It's terrible. Am I gonna fix it? No. Quite honestly, however, we have a good amount of progress happening in this bullet journal so far, and I'm very, very excited about that. Update, you can definitely hear her screaming. Maybe I can edit that out, maybe not. However, I think I'm gonna go ahead and peruse Michael's a little bit just to see what they happen to have, but I also, on my genre blanket, let me look at the genre blanket page for a second. Okay. First of all, I absolutely detest the aesthetics of this page at the moment. This did not turn out how I wanted to. However, I really love the Goodreads goal pages. Getting to color in a book every single time that you finish one is so entertaining to me. Although it was kind of a useless page, it is fun to do, so we're definitely keeping it. And the more that I was thinking about how I was going to track my genre blanket progress, I had the light bulb moment that I could go ahead and do this and then color in the books with the genre color as I actually crochet those rows. So this will be a really good tracker for me. And I ended up coloring in the boxes of the different yarn kind of with the Tombow markers that I did have. However, I did not have Tombow markers for all of the books that I have, but I also am still really uncertain of these categories. So when I officially decide on the categories, I will actually pin those in. Other than like indie fantasy romance and maybe trad published fantasy romance, I know what those are going to be, but I haven't fully decided on those other two. So I do need to get the markers for the last two colors of yarn that I got, and I think we're going to leave it at that. But I was planning on leaving this page a lot more simple than it is, and then I just don't love it. But because I had to use a glue stick because I ran out of my glue tape, it's kind of stuck down the way that it is now. So do I love this page? No. And are we going to roll with it? Yeah, I think so. I technically could remake it, but I really like where this page is, and I don't really feel like remaking it. I don't know, maybe I could do the key differently somehow. I was doing the gold and black theme, and I put the gold vellum because of the black headers, but I'm also like, what if I just like put different washi tape over the gold? Because I think the gold is just making it too busy and too old lady busy and not like cute busy. Interesting thoughts. All that to say, we made really good progress last night, and I need to clean up the mess that's happening. I really need to go get a car wash, and I also kind of want to go get a tea, even though I've had a double shot of espresso already today. So let's head out. Is this me avoiding folding my laundry? Yeah. But let's head out. I think once these other boxes get filled in, it'll be better. But I do think that the black and white washi tape was much better than the vellum that I put to the side. Oops. The way that I'm like, what if I just cover up this entire bottom section and try again later? Seems like a vibe to me. friends, and welcome back to the car yet again. Do you remember how a little bit ago I bought all the stuff for my genre blanket, and I was like, no, surely I have the crochet hook, I'm fine. I started looking for that crochet hook last night. No. And then I started looking online. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to get another one. So I started doing a pickup order for it, and then I was like, this hook is green. I definitely remember this being a blue hook. Well, I was thinking of the 5mm hook, not the 5.5mm hook. So all that to say, I did not start my genre blanket last night. I proceeded to do a little bit more of my reading journal, and then I read a little bit of my book, and then I went to bed. So I have officially gotten off of work. It is currently Monday, obviously. I am currently in the Hobby Lobby parking lot because I kind of wanted to just walk around. I did, in fact. Michael's does. So let me back up. My favorite hook is the clover hook. I really do not necessarily love, honestly, much of anything else. I think it. Order submission. Okay, so So Michael's does not, generally speaking, carry the clover hooks in store, at least from what I have seen. And then but I know that Joann's does. But I have two $5 vouchers at Michael's, and I did a pickup order at Michael's, and I'm currently waiting for it to fulfill. And Hobby Lobby is literally right across the street from Michael's. Now, yarn is not on sale. I don't know why I'm going in here. I kind of just want to walk around. And just see what I want to see. I'm also feeling really dumb because I did break out those little like compression like glove things, and one of them was ripped down the side, and I really should have brought them to return them, and I'm not realizing that I forgot them. Also, I was really thinking that tonight, I was like 100% sure that tonight was book club night. Tomorrow's book club night. Why was I thinking it was on a Monday? I have no idea. And why did I completely gaslight myself into thinking that it was, in fact, Monday, when I never looked at the invitation, and B, the invitation literally says Tuesday. So that's where I'm at. However, that means that while I was anticipating to have a social evening tonight, I'm now having a social evening tomorrow, and I get to crochet. However, I wanted to give you a little mini baby reading update because I was really anticipating not reading the book club pick for this month because it is In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. If you know me, you know that that's not necessarily a book that you would think of when you think of me. However, I was kind of curious enough. We talked about it. Jessica had the audiobook, so I'm currently listening to the audiobook. I'm kind of into the audiobook, and I think that were I to read this physically or, with my eyeballs in general, it would not have been. Not a time. I'm kind of into it. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a solid 3-star at the moment. Like, it's not just something that's totally great, but it's also not terrible. And I'm into that. However, I am currently at chapter 12, I think, which is just about a third of the way through. The audiobook is super short. So, sacrifice I will. However, it's very much so giving 7-Year Slip vibes. So if 7-Year Slip was a book that you liked, the super heartfelt, longing, angsty, yearning vibes that you got out of 7-Year Slip is kind of happening. But also, I'm at the point where I'm low-key kind of not confused, but like intrigued as to where we're even going with this, because the plot is set up to where, so our female main character that I literally don't even know the name of, she is currently dating David. It starts off with her basically getting engaged to this man. Great, we're all happy, we're lovely, we're having a great time. They go home for the evening, take a little nap after all of their little celebration champagne from their engagement. She wakes up from her nap and she is no longer in her apartment. She is at another apartment with another man that seems way too hot for her. And she's like, A, where the heck am I? And B, who the heck are you? And C, what is even happening? And then she looks around, she realizes that her clothes are in this place and that she actually does live here. But she feels this pull to this guy, so she's like, what? And she's kind of confused with it, but she also kind of goes with it. And then she ends up like doing the deed with this man while she's engaged. So she's basically dropped into this alternate world in which the person that she's with is not the person that she's with. And so she's kind of confused, but she's also like, what? But the year is 2025. And she is currently 5 years in the future from where she last happened. So she kind of like lives her little day, whatever. She goes to sleep again. She wakes up and she is suddenly back in 2020. So then we flash forward to just shy of 2025. I think it ends up being like maybe like 6 months before the date that she looked at the calendar when she was 5 years in the future. And she's like, oh, wait a minute. She kind of puts it off and then she kind of forgets about it. And then she gets slowly closer to 2025. And she's like, oh, she's able to put it off. But then her best friend shows up. And guess who her new boyfriend is? You guessed it, the guy. She still has not told her bestie that any of this has ever happened. And so her bestie's like, why aren't you supportive of me and my boyfriend. Like, hello, do you even care about me? And she's like, yeah, I care about you. I'm just like processing the fact that I slept with your boyfriend in another life that wasn't even real because I don't even know what is happening in this magical realism world. So I'm very curious to see where this is going. It's giving very, not just 7-year slip from the timeline perspective, but also from the overall vibe. Like, the vibe is very much so the yearning, nostalgic, we're processing a lot of things, very contemporary romance vibes. So I am enjoying that. I will continue listening to that. However, I'm also reading a little indie fan role under the name of King of Frost and Shadows, and I at first was really not liking it. Like, I was kind of like, what is this? This seems a little cringe. Are we what is happening? I'm kind of into it now, and it's definitely still a little cringy, but like also kind of a vibe. Anywho, since that's all, we're gonna go into Hobby Lobby, get ourselves up to trouble that we do not need to be getting ourselves into, and then we're going to go pick up a crochet hook, and then we're going to make a genre blanket. Okay, JK, did I proceed to spend the next 20 minutes scrolling on my phone? Yes, I did. Am I kind of just taking advantage of the fact that I have a very clean car at the moment? Yeah, it feels good. So here's your sign to yet again. Okay, if you crochet ever and you do not have a bobby, might I recommend it to you because it is so nice for the elbows. Okay, but you're very handsome, but you're gonna have to scoochie. Okay, quick little complaint about in 5 years. I know that this is not what this, well, I was gonna say that's not what this vlog is about, but I've not read anything else for this vlog to even be about anything else reading related. I knew that this book wasn't necessarily gonna be for me, okay? I knew that going into it. I'm at the point where I had kind of got myself kind of hyped up thinking that it might be something that would be good for me. And then we get to this point where she just won't communicate the way that she should to clear up some of the weird confusions. And I understand why she's not, because what she's trying to tell her friend is a little whack, okay? It's a little whack. But it would solve too many problems if she just, you know, told her bestie what was going on. But I also get it because there's a lot going on. So I totally understand the complexity of the situation and that it is so complex that she just can't, like, she's just not there yet. I get it. But I'm also like, are we gonna get some something here? But I'm also like not hating it either. So I don't know where that leaves us. What that does leave us with is that I'm really low-key kind of dreading starting this blanket. I know that when I have it, I do not love doing the very beginnings of things like this. However, I did at Hobby Lobby. I didn't do a Hobby Lobby haul. I got some black and white like floral washi tape that I think is gonna be better than the white polka dot washi tape that I was using, but I got a little stitch counter. This little digital stitch counter was literally $2. So I'm hopeful that this could be helpful. I tried one time to do a foundation like double chain foundation row instead of doing a foundation chain and then double crocheting into that foundation chain. All that to say, I attempted one time to learn how to do it the fancy way that is apparently a lot easier than the normal way, but it's like kind of hard. And the tutorial that she had did doing the foundation, I don't know if it's a double crochet or a single crochet. Watch me half double crochet. I don't know. But the tutorial that I was looking at for this particular blanket as a whole, she started it that way, and she was explaining how, like, if you start it that way, then you don't have to worry about tension differences. All that to say, I am going to learn something new, which is good and all fun. However, I know that it's going to be kind of frustrating because I'm going to have to count in multiples of 3. So we're hoping that the old stitch counter is going to be beneficial, but also I'm excited to have this blanket started. So I am going to, I know Cass was sprinting. She just started a sprint and I just got back from, Taco Bell because I went to Taco Bell for dinner again. I need to cook. Okay. What we're not going to talk about is that, but they have the best, specifically Diet Dr. Pepper. The particular location, I think they just like overdo their syrup or something, but their Diet Dr. Pepper is so good. So I was craving another crispy. See, that's the thing. It's not even crispy. It's like it's fairly flat. It's just sweeter tasting, even though it's literally diet. So I'm going to do some sprints. We're going to start crocheting this blanket. Hello? Hi. And maybe listen to this audiobook. What a time to be alive. Wait. I'm not ready. This is not going to be good, you guys. I started using this yarn and I keep splitting the yarn. Oh no. Okay. This is going well. I love cozy hobbies. Wait. I think I need the more in-depth tutorial, but also I think I just need to get rid of this and figure out what's happening with my life. This doesn't feel right. We can do this. I didn't chain 1. Girl, just watch the in-depth tutorial. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm too stubborn. Gosh dang it. Why is there such a big gap on this? Wait. There's a second loop.
Chain 1, yarn over 4 through 2, yarn over 4 through 2. Again,
wait. Use your eyeballs, Bailey.
Chain 1, yarn over 4 through 2, yarn over
Chain 1, 2, and 2. That's not hard.
2, yarn over 4
Wait.
Again, we're going into the
I looked away for 1 second. I think the concept of chain 1 versus pulling up a loop is confusing to me at the moment. And I have been crocheting for like 3 years now. Okay, talk dirty to me. Why do we like doing this? Why is this cozy? No, why are you splitting? See, I really would like to blame the yarn for the problems that I'm experiencing, but no, it's me. I'm the problem. Hello? Chain 1, 2, 3. I feel like I just threw an extra chain in there somehow. Oh well. Okay, so I have tried doing a foundation double chain beforehand like we talked about, but the last time that I tried doing this, I tried it on way bigger yarn. This time I feel like I can actually see the yarn, so this is going much better. Oh yeah, buddy. Okay. Yeah, boy. Wait, am I putting this hook in the right place? I don't feel like I am. Chain 1. Chain 2. Chain 3, baby. Okay. Oh, I love cozy hobbies. My hand is cramping already. I have not been counting. I think we're good. I think this is great. I don't know that I just did that right. I think I went into I think it is disassociated. Okay, so I figured out clearly not what's happening with my hair, but I figured out the double foundation row situation. I'm 130 stitches into, the pattern is 170, but I think it's gonna go a little bit longer. Regardless, y'all saw me complaining about how the heck I was supposed to figure this out a second ago. I magically figured it out and it suddenly makes so much sense, and I actually love doing this way. So catch me completely being a changed crocheter. However, I was getting real sick and tired of in 5 years just because I just want fantasy. And so I clicked pause on that and I was like, I can finish listening to that during work tomorrow. However, I decided to scroll through my Libby app and just see what was available. My library has had the Zodiac Academy series, the whole series, on like always available. And I think it might be like a Libby in general thing. I don't think it's my library specifically, but regardless, I've been kind of thinking about it. I'd actually borrowed the audiobook like a month ago, started it and was like, absolutely not. I started it. why am I actually really into it? And it is in fact the graphic audio. And as we saw from my last vlog with Fourth Wing, I suddenly am into graphic audiobooks. So I think not only am I having a graphic audiobook moment, which is like, yay, I think I'm having a Zodiac Academy moment, which I read Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, #1, and I DNF'd it at 70%. Like, are you kidding? Why I DNF'd it, I had pushed so long to get to that point and I just didn't love it. So I DNF'd it, which like go me for DNFing something I wasn't loving. However, I'm still kind of mad that I did this. But I wasn't sure that I would ever read this series again. And all of a sudden I'm here and I'm kind of actually like really vibing along with it. And it starts off when the scene where Tori's running away from the cops or whatever, and all of a sudden there are police sirens, and it just like gave ambiance and just like silly goofy. And because the series is so silly goofy, the graphic audiobook was really making it extra silly goofy. However, okay, we're switching arms because I have the upper body strength of absolutely nothing. I have been really, first of all, one of the books that I really wanted to read in January was The Hobbit. And I was actually talking to my boss at work the other day about like Lord of the Rings is one of her favorite series. She's actually a big Brando Sando girly, and so we were talking about all the fantasy books, and she had mentioned that she really loves The Hobbit, but specifically she really loves the cartoons of it from like the 70s. So we were talking about that. So we'd had a whole conversation about this, but then also I have been just all month really wanting to read The Hobbit. I had also really wanted to do a Lord of the Rings read/reread, I guess, this year, also because Erin had booked and busy, she was doing a read along for it. So all that to say, The Hobbit has been so prevalently on my mind to the point where my hold for the audiobook came, and I don't know why, but I went ahead and let the next person borrow it. And I don't know if it was because I was about to read Onyx Storm, or I think it's because I was in the middle of reading Legends of Thesmar, and I was like, okay, no, I'll just, I need another week or so, I'll go ahead and let it go. Well, I never got it. And I have been thinking the whole, like, last 2 days since having Onyx Storm, doing all my bullet journal stuff, you know what would be really great right now? The Hobbit. You know what? You know what notification I just got? After 20 minutes of me listening to Zodiac Academy, so I guess technically being 40% or 40 minutes through, like regular 40 minutes through Zodiac Academy. The Hobbit, my audiobook's available from the library. However, I'm having actually like so much fun listening to Zodiac Academy right now that I'm gonna go ahead and borrow The Hobbit, because we're not doing this whole like I'm not gonna have it again whenever I want it, but like I don't think I want to listen to The Hobbit anymore. I think I want to listen to Zodiac Academy. Who, me? Yeah, me. Also, I was really planning to read The Half King tonight, and here I am. But at least we're making some genre-related progress. Okay, we have migrated to the bedroom. However, we have the start of this blanket done. I have made it as long as my queen bed. Is that too long? Yeah, probably. So I'm going to do some math and figure out the total width of this blanket and just like double check I'm not doing this too long. However, I'm starting to realize that the Soft and Sleek yarn, I actually like the Simply Flawless. Is that what this is called? I like the texture of this better. So if you like the colors that this yarn comes in, this one's way softer, but I'm so glad that this is going to be the majority of the blanket because I like it. So what we have left to do here is we're going to basically crochet another white row on top of this, so that way all you're really going to see are the little, like, I guess this is technically the right side, the little dots peeking down and out between each row, and each of those dots are going to be the color. So obviously we had to start with Van Row representing Vows and Ruins. So I did end up going with the 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. It ended up taking me 245 stitches, which means that every single row is going to be 245 stitches long. Is that a lot? Yeah. So I'm thinking I might make it a little bit shorter, but also I think I'm very excited about this. Cool. Okay. Here. I just got back from book club where I met my newest, truest love. Okay, bye. Mabel. Mo's dog. I'll leave a picture of her here. Was I aware that this picture was being taken? No. Was I so engrossed in that dog that I didn't pay attention to anything surrounding me ever? Yeah. However, both Oliver and Finley, they're kind of pissed at me because I touched another dog. Hi. Did I cheat on you? We did very have you with a St. Bernard puppy who's 9 months old and she was so cute. I wanted to quickly give you some updates on In 5 Years just because I did finish it. I did finish it. What was that? Okay. I think we all knew that I was not going to love it. However, there were moments that I actually really did like. Okay, there were moments where I was like, wait, is this kind of a vibe? Is this kind of the moment? And then the ending happened, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was just like, what? Ma'am, what? So that happened. I'm gonna give it 2 stars, okay? I'm gonna give it 2 stars just because of the ending, okay? Did I enjoy my time reading this book? I mean, I didn't hate it. There were moments that I liked. There were moments that I was like, yeah, you know, I think I could keep reading this right now. And it was a pretty short book, so that also gave it some brownie points. However, is this my new favorite book? No. Would I recommend it? Definitely no. I think that some people could. I mean, obviously some people really, really do like it. I am unfortunately not, people. Anyways, it was so fun to see all the gals and just gab away and just hang out for an evening. I was kind of feeling like I wanted to be an antisocial little hermit and work on my blanket and also read and also just like sit in my enclosure. So I was very much so glad that I did, but I did end up making a HelloFresh meal finally. I got my box Friday. It's now Tuesday. I finally cooked. So I definitely will be cooking today and tomorrow, but I also desperately need to wash this greasy little mop that's happening here. And yeah, it's currently what? I really thought it was 11 o'clock. I looked at the clock on Mo's TV. It was quite literally 10:42 p.m. This is excellent news. I have a whole extra hour for activities. Does this mean that I don't wash my hair and I just wash it at lunch tomorrow so that way tonight I can just, you know, continue to rot in the grease? Maybe. Bless you. Also, just because I feel like chatting for a second, I keep looking at the IKEA bookshelves that are literally sitting in the floor in my bedroom and also next to my dresser. Yet another weekend has gone by in which I have not set them up. Yeah. Yeah.